Hello, today is August 26, 2025, and a lady said something about me. I commented on my YouTube videos about being mobbed. Apparently, she saw that and tried to tell me that that didn't happen, or I'm just being whatever. I want to tell you that this thing has wrecked my life, and my life has been threatened a number of times this year. But it goes back all the way to 2007. So at a Lowe's, there was a real pretty girl that I never bothered, never said anything. I was building a home, and every day I would go in there to buy bolts and screws and I spent thousands of dollars building a motorhome. I have a video of it. So I was just in there to do that. And one of her male employees, co-workers, did he bother you? I'm spending thousands of dollars. Not a single word was ever made to this girl, or a mood, or anything. And even she told the guy, nothing is happening, dude. So anyhow, it was kind of weird. I don't know if that had to do with it, but it's the start of weirdness. So later on, I moved out of Riverview into over by Palm River area. And there's a campground. My bus home, when I go to move up to Tallahassee, I go to start it, and somebody cut the fuel pump. I got it to run. Well, instead of driving it, I had to tow it out. But the fact that somebody probably cut the fuel line on my school bus in that part told me that it was tampered with, probably. Not just that, but two other vehicles were tampered with. My Saturn, I bought it at a car lot. Maybe I had bad luck. The radiator had a hole, and then it fucking warped the block. Okay? That was the end of the Saturn, and it looked like brand new. It had a brand new paint job, but I spent back then $2,500 on this car. Then I turn around, I go all the way to Orlando and buy a Nissan pickup. I drive from my family member's house, and a deer jumps out. I kind of look back at that as maybe that wasn't the deer, but maybe someone threw it out there. I kind of look back and wonder about that. But moving right along, that did quite a bit of damage. I come back on a Christmas trip to a girlfriend's house, and the engine and the tranny go bad. On a Nissan pickup, a 95 Nissan pickup. They're pretty damn tough vehicles. It only had 110,000 on it. I mean, something's wrong. And this goes on. I work at 2006 at a Porta-John company. And this guy tells me to do something, an employee, and I get hurt. I don't think that was an accident. I was intended to kill me. All right. They switch trucks. This guy tells me how to fill water up fast, and it has this on the other trucks, it blows out the top. It doesn't create any pressure. They train me on that. He trains me on that, and then they switch me to a smaller truck that connects from top, and it creates pressure. And when you release the cam butterfly levers, it popped off and hit me in the head. In the process of going to the medical hospital, I find out that other people had been popped in the head. Maybe this is a hit. I'm really looking at it as maybe it was a hit. Then, my grandfather had just died. I lost my uncle and my grandfather within a week, 2 weeks apart. That's not an accident. I believe that is a murder. My mom had a situation where there was a gun waving. 3 months later, she dies. I want to tell you, I went into a store in 2009. It has a laundromat. I go through the line to buy something, and this cashier gives me this crazy look like I'm a bank robber. So I walk over to the substations right across the street. Is there a warrant for me? So, and they go, no, no, it doesn't appear to be. I mean, at that point, that's the way I was treated. So I'm going to other stores after that, independent stores. Not, I want to tell you, Publix always treated me good. Never was hassled. I had to go, I stopped going to independent stores because this guy networked it from there. So the next 4 days, I've been using the laundromat. Lo and behold, the shop owner owns the freaking laundromat. He's got an employee watching me, trying to make me feel uncomfortable. Follows me over to another store. You know, I know something's wrong. I want to tell you that terrified me. Terrified me. It messed my head up. So the last couple of years, there's been terrible things done that I can't even talk about to my mind and whatever. And somebody's paying for that. I bought a truck. This time I thought I would go with a Ford Ranger. I like a stick and I like a clutch. And I bought this Ford Ranger. And I quit this job and had some money. And I had only planned to spend a couple $1,000. And before I was done, I bought a used truck for, I had to do an engine rebuild. And I got a remanufactured engine. I worked at a salvage yard. I know with core engines, you could go through 2 or 3 of them before you get one good maybe. So I didn't want to do that. I got these guys a good engine with a warranty. They're supposed to look out for me. I went back to that shop 3 more times. There was fluid leaking. And on the second oil change, it started using like a quart of oil every week. I definitely, before I could get to the mile of oil change, I'd already put 4 quarts of oil and was going on to the 5th. Still had 1,000 miles to get to the oil change. So I imagine I would have put 5 or 6 quarts that time. And it climbed from 1 quart to 5 or 6. So it's definitely something supposed to be 6 months after I had the engine remanufactured. So he wasn't going to do anything. He knew that it was wrong. He tells me after we've finished the job, there's no warranty. You ain't going to be around here very long. And that's it. And that's the way it's going to roll. I had $2,400 in the engine, the remanufactured engine, $1,900 in labor with him, and another $700 in repairs after that, on top of that. That's just with him. And then I bought tires, batteries, and on my own, all the way around, tires, and I did a brake job that I think got tampered with, but I junked the truck out. So I couldn't sell the truck for what I put in anywhere near it. Even if it was running right, could I ever get the money? I had planned on keeping it, but it's weird that I can't get a job. So basically, I sold the truck off to a junkyard for $500 rather than sell it off to somebody and have them go through a heartache, because that engine wasn't going to hold. Unless it was... So I have, throughout my life, I worked at different jobs. I would see somebody come in, and then I would see myself go out the next day. See them come in with a bad attitude, and they were paid or just worked up by somebody to come into a job that I had, and then go up to the management, and some kind of crappy talk was said, and then I would go out. So it's not an accident. This here is a head injury in 2006. Well, this guy told me incorrectly they set me up. In my opinion, I feel like I was set up to get hurt. This could have killed me. They trained me in one truck where it doesn't build pressure. Then they put me in another truck. I didn't need to know that at all. It was at a wastewater treatment plant. We just filled it with a hose. Had he not said anything, I wouldn't have got hit in the head. It wrecked my life for that whole year. I didn't want to. I just sat at home, pouting. And so there's somebody out there with a lot of hate. And they've done a lot. They've broke a lot of cars of mine. It caused me a lot of fear. They go to businesses and try to scare me around where I live and where I shop. This isn't an accident. So today, when that lady said that to me, you haven't lived my life. They went to places, I went to Skipper's. A lady went in there and she was running around screaming at people to get me kicked out like I'd done something wrong. I went there for 17 years every week doing a jam, a musical thing with a group of friends. Every freaking once a week, sometimes twice a week. And this lady does that. I'm going out west. I have a guy following behind me who's screaming out absurdities. I'm in the woods at a camping festival. And this guy's following around me, and he gets other people to follow him around me to scare me. I haven't done anything wrong. I went to the authorities. Is there a warrant for me? It's just some nutty people. So this isn't going on since 2007. They go after my job. I can't have a car because they'll break it. So anyhow, I wished they would prosecute that guy that runs that shop and Michelle Auto Care. But I lost a lot of other vehicles. There's somebody that paid them to do that. I want the people that have caused all this heartache to me to go away for a long time. They wrecked my life. They cost me jobs. They cost me girlfriends. They cost me homes. They're evil, bad, and destructive and evil, and they are wrecking other people's lives, and they're a criminal organization. That's it. I have to hear this woman tell me that I am imagining things. It must be somebody that's trying real hard to cover their crime.